and welcome back to another Marvel's Midnight Suns developer live stream. I am Rachel Sema, senior producer here at Firaxis Games, and I am joined by Joe Weinhofer, lead designer of Marvel's Midnight Suns.
Hey everyone.
And Michael Cody, associate producer on Marvel's Midnight Suns.
People?
As well as Ben Reeves, writer on Marvel's Midnight Suns.
Hello, how's it going?
Welcome. All right, so we're going to kick it off by introducing everyone and being as inclusive as possible by welcoming all our new fans to the game. So we're going to play the base game launch trailer. Welcome back. So, exciting announcement. We also are going to be launching the base game and the DLC season on PS4 and Xbox One tomorrow. So it's going to have so many new people joining the Marvel's Midnight Suns fan base. To welcome those folks, Joe, can you tell us a little bit about the game itself?
Yeah, absolutely. So Marvel's Midnight Suns is a tactical RPG set in the supernatural side of the Marvel Universe. So we pull in a lot of different characters from all across the Marvel family. So we have Avengers and Midnight Suns, of course, mutants, Runaways, Spider-Man, like everybody's here, everybody's having a great time. You are playing as the Hunter, who is a fully customizable hero that we designed along with a partnership with Marvel, who is the child of Lilith, the mother of demons, who has been resurrected and is back, just wreaking havoc on the world. And you are setting out with your team as the Midnight Suns to put a stop to Lilith and all of the supernatural threats that she kind of poses. We've got a bunch of corrupted villains, very deep, strategic gameplay, have an awesome superhero base in the Abbey that you get to upgrade and explore over time. We also have a lot of relationship systems. You get to develop, deep friendships and kind of emotional connections to these heroes. So yeah, it's a really kind of comprehensive experience. We've had a blast kind of hearing all of the reactions from the fans over the last couple months and are super excited to get to, wrap up kind of our DLC season pass with the release of Storm tomorrow. And of course, bringing the game to all of our fans on PlayStation 4 and Xbox One is super, super exciting. So yeah, it's super exciting. We'll dive into gameplay in a few and show off more of combat.
We've got a trailer to show you to tease Storm a little bit before we jump into gameplay. So let's go ahead and roll that.
A year ago, the professor detected a mutant living here. A fierce young woman named Dahlia. According to the orphanage, she disappeared 3 months ago.
Do you think the vampires are hunting this child?
The city's most vulnerable population is being erased. Mutants and humans alike.
What are you so busy defending, Storm? These cast-offs are not your family. Why bother protecting society's dregs? If we're going to take on Sin,
And find Dahlia.
we need the reinforcements.
Look to the skies. Protect the children at any cost. That was half my power.
Very cool. So we have seen a little bit of Storm. We have actually a teaser for the first cinematic in the Storm-focused DLC. But first, let's talk a little bit about Storm as a character. So I'm going to throw it over to you, Joe.
Yeah, absolutely. So Storm is kind of the fourth and final hero in our first season pass. She's really, kind of a restrained but ultimately like super powerful character. So her gameplay mechanic kind of reflects that. It's a bit different than what we've done before, but is really exciting. We'll get into the details on that in a few. But yeah, she's been super fun to bring in. She uses a lot of stun in her abilities, a lot of status effects that can be really powerful in controlling the battlefield. And she's a super powerful, force to have that can unleash a ton of damage on enemies. So she's a great asset to all of our teams. We've also, Storm is the last hero. We'll touch briefly on all of the other heroes from the season pass as we kind of go through the stream today. But as a quick recap, we started off the season pass with Deadpool, our favorite, Wade Wilson, the merc with a mouth. He's got a very fiery, streaky gameplay mechanic where he can build up a lot of potential with his KOs. Then we released Venom. It was Eddie Brock has taken on, the symbiote from Spider-Man comics. Venom is very powerful right out of the gate, has a huge kind of very bursty mechanic that deals a lot of damage up front and then has to be kind of managed over time. And then just a couple weeks ago, we released Morbius, the living vampire, who deals a lot with deals a lot with bleeding mechanics, very similar to Blade, who's one of our original Midnight Suns on the roster. And they pair really well together for some, sweet vampire action. And now we're rounding out with Storm. So as Rachel said, we've got a quick cinematic teaser to just show the very beginning of Storm's storyline, mission arc in Midnight Suns, which will, kick it off now.
Let's take a look.
Eliana, thank you for coming.
Aurora, you can always count on me.
A friendship for all seasons is a powerful thing. Thank the goddess for that. We miss you at the school. You are always welcome home.
I found my home with the Midnight Suns. But that does not mean I leave friends behind. What is the problem?
A year ago, the professor detected a mutant living here with dormant abilities. I met with her, a fierce young woman named Dahlia, and invited her to attend Xavier's school. She declined. The orphanage was all she knew. I came here today to see if she had changed her mind, but according to the orphanage, she disappeared 3 months ago.
Let me guess. As soon as her powers manifested.
It's my fault. I didn't want to push her, to take her away from the only place she felt safe. I thought she could hide in plain sight a bit longer. I was wrong.
You did what you thought was right. As you always do.
Dahlia would never harm another person. And now she slipped through the cracks. Another ghost in the wind.
This city is not kind to its ghosts.
Especially not when it's infested with vampires.
That's why we're gonna find her before they do.
They already found us.
Protect the children, at any cost.
So that sets up the story for Storm, which we're very excited to share with you all. I think we're going to go ahead and jump right into gameplay now, so we can take a look at Storm in action.
All right, so here we are, Storm in tactical combat. We'll kind of go over the mission setup here briefly, but first to just go over Storm's gameplay mechanics. She's got a very simple one, very self-explanatory, but ultimately very powerful. Her mechanic is called Next Turn. Very kind of self-descriptive here. We have an ability where on her ability cards in tactical, if you wait 1 turn after that card is in your hand, it will get a pretty significant power boost. So we make sure that if Storm is patient and restrains her power, then she really can unleash on the following turn. So we will see that in action a lot throughout today's stream. It looks like on this mission I also have the Hunter. So here's an example Hunter. Oh, let me get the camera right here. Got an example Hunter who's one of our customizable heroes. The Hunter has a mix. They're kind of struggling with the darkness inside of themselves. So they have a mix of light and dark and powerful balanced abilities. They are a supreme demon hunting warrior. So they have a lot of very, very cool abilities using their swords and other weapons that we will show off. And we've also got Deadpool here making another surprise return appearance. He's hanging out in one of his special legendary skins here, but he is along for the ride. So we will use him to great effect on this mission. It looks like we're facing off against some of our vampire and turned Hydra enemies that we introduced with the DLC, with the season pass. So vampires have kind of been the ongoing story. The turned Hydra come in because they're related, or they're kind of working under Sin, the granddaughter of the Red Skull, who's introduced as one of our villains, and they have been, they are really fun to play against, deal a lot with bleeding mechanics, kind of affecting your hero ability cards in interesting ways. So let's dive in here. So
We have to know, Joe, what
Yeah.
difficulty are you playing on?
Oh, this is on, all right, so this is on Heroic 1 difficulty. So we have, I think, 8 or 9 different difficulty levels in the game. So there's a kind of a normal level, there's a story difficulty, and then you have 3 tiers of Heroic difficulty, and then 3 tiers of Ultimate difficulty above that. So this is on Heroic 1. We're kind of starting with basic Storm ability cards here, when we will be scaling up the difficulty as we go through the stream today. Culminating with, I've been attempting an Ultimate 3 mission, the highest difficulty in the game, with each of our DLC heroes. I'm 1 for 2 so far. We succeeded last time, finally, with Blade and Morbius. See what happens today. That will be at the end of the stream. All right, so let's kick things off here. We'll use the Hunter. It has this quick ability. Quick is a mechanic where every turn you have 3 card plays. So you can generally play 3 of your hero's ability cards from your hand per turn. Quick is a great mechanic to have on your cards because when you KO an enemy with a quick ability, you get your card play refunded. So you can see there I still have my 3 card plays and can keep going. All right, so this ability with Storm, it costs only 1 heroism. I did generate 1 heroism with that Hunter attack. So I could play this now, but it'll be even more powerful, get a increased damage and heroism cost if I wait until the next turn. So I'm going to pause on this for now. I do have another Storm card in my hand here, Overload, which destroys a conduit to stun enemies in an area. It doesn't look like there are any stun conduits on this map, so we have kind of a bonus gameplay effect here to count for just for this situation, where if I redraw this, Storm will gain strengthened. I think I'm going to save that for next turn as well, because then I can redraw it, give Storm strengthened for a turn, which will increase her damage, and then be able to have an even bigger crushing blow. So let's see if we can get Deadpool. All right, perfect. All right, so this is a quick ability from Deadpool that can take out a couple enemies here. It will also let us use start using Deadpool's Infuego mechanic. So he kind of goes on these streaks where if you get a bunch of KOs, all of his abilities will become more and more powerful. So we'll get a KO with him and increase his Infuego. That will make his altogether now ability more powerful. So since I have an Infuego bonus, I'm drawing 2 cards instead of 1. Let's see if we can find some other Storm abilities here to show off.
What happens if he gets hit while you're building Fuego?
So if Deadpool takes damage, that will reduce his Infuego level by 1. So all right, so let's redraw this and see if we can get another Storm card. Otherwise, we know we'll use her next turn. Okay, so no other Storm cards this turn, but we've got some good Hunter abilities here. We can set up some damage on our enemies. Let's see. This turned Mystic is pretty threatening, so I think I want to take her out before she can cause too much trouble. So we'll use these 2 abilities to solve that problem before it becomes a problem. All right. So one of the other really exciting gameplay elements that we have in Midnight Suns is the ability for the heroes to use environment objects. So they can throw things around, leap off of things, do some really cool interactions with the environment to take on their enemies. So we can actually use Storm here, I believe. Oh, all right, maybe not. They're just slightly out of range. let's move Storm over a little bit so she can vault off of this object and take out one of these Hydra elite guys. Oh,
No,
why did that
still, you gotta move a little more,
move,
probably.
gotta move a little bit more. All right, let's see here.
So you can keep moving this one character, right?
Right.
As long as you don't switch.
As long as you don't do any other actions,
Right.
you can keep. All right. Well, that is not behaving for whatever reason.
Looks like it keeps selecting as
Which-
hunter.
Which,
Yeah, because it wants
because
the
it's
hunter.
viable.
Okay. Well, we can use. Let's see if I can do this with Storm instead.
Yeah.
Yeah. There we go. All right. So I can use Storm to throw this rock at this Hydra guy.
It's still
So
cool.
that will. Still good. Still worthwhile.
Yeah.
There we go. All right. So that's a nice KO there. Let's see if I can use this one as well. Oh, this is great. We're gonna clear these guys out nice and easily.
You
I
got
love
same
that
for
her
environmental?
lightning power is
Fate.
basically telekinesis.
Yeah.
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 Hey, Storm, isn't Storm an Omega level
Yep.
mutant? Like she
Yep.
is ultra powerful. So yeah, we won't worry too much about her capabilities here.
What's your favorite environmental to use?
Ooh. I mean, the explosives are always fun. It is always really fun. So we have ley lines and we have, standard explosive, standard explosive barrels that are very fun to detonate. But the sliders, like we've got over here, are very fun, especially if you can line up a group of enemies and then just kind of have the
I like
object
those
plow through
those
them.
topple
The
traps. over
topples,
there.
yeah,
those ones are
they're
nice.
pretty great as well.
Got good range.
All
on them.
right, so we've got a couple enemies left. Should be pretty easy to wrap up next turn. We'll show off some of Storm's abilities there. Let's see what happens.
Oh,
All right, taking a little bit of damage. Nothing too troublesome. All right, a couple more enemies to take out. You may notice for our newer players here, some of the enemies have health bars and some do not. These guys without health bars are known as minions, and they will be KO'd if you deal any amount of damage to them. So they can still be threatening. They still deal a lot of damage if you leave them alive, but they are a great almost resource for you to utilize. All right, so we are ready for some cool Storm abilities here. Let's go ahead and redraw this overload so we get to that strengthened bonus. And now we can.
that was a jump.
All right, so we've got 220 damage on Crushing Blow now. That will easily take out this turned elite. So let's make that happen. Wind and
Dang.
rain and lightning and yeah, very, very powerful. And normally most of Storm's abilities, the next turn effect will only trigger once. Crushing Blow is actually unique in that it will just keep going, I think up to a maximum of 10 heroism and 10 times that damage value, so it can be very powerful. All right, Vortex is really fun. This is an AoE knockback ability. A lot of our abilities in the game, or not a lot, a good number of abilities in the game have knockback on them, where you get to throw enemies around. So this one is pretty fun to use since you have this radius where you can really get a lot of enemies knocked back all at once. Let's see here. I will try. Oh, there we go. All right. So
nice.
now I'm going
The
to
ley line.
yep, knock the one trooper back into the ley line, which will cause an explosion, and then knock the other one
Back into his
two
buddy.
into each other. And since they're both minions, they will both get KO'd. So let's Storm. There we go. Oh, beautiful.
So cool.
Very, very cool. All right. Let's see if we can get another.
All Storm's abilities have such cool visual effects with them as well. Like
Absolutely.
such good lightning effects. They're so exciting to use.
Absolutely. All right. Let's see. I don't know if I have.
Oh, yeah, combat items.
Oh, here we go. All right. I'm just trying to draw more storm abilities
cards.
here.
Yeah.
Let's draw more cards. All right.
Ah,
Here
yeah,
we
we got
got
another
Crushing
Crushing
Blow
Blow.
again. Sure, we'll use this on a minion. Why not? Take him out with a bang.
There you go.
I think on the last stream we talked about how a lot of the DLC characters feel extra powerful.
Yeah.
How do you think Storm ranks on that? Do you think she's like even the best out of all the DLC characters? I feel like she's really, really strong.
She's
I would
up
say yes.
there. She's definitely up there. I mean, all of them are strong and unique in their own ways. But Storm is interesting because like she's a unique challenge because you do have to wait generally a turn or two to unleash her full potential. We have other cards and abilities that let you kind of work around that and manipulate it a bit. So once you get to her later game abilities, it becomes easier to really take advantage of that potential earlier in a mission. But she does require a bit of careful balancing to make sure that when you get, on your first turn, you might not be utilizing her that much. Her cards can kind of clog up your hand.
Right.
But, there are ways around that. There are ways you can certainly capitalize on that.
I do like it conceptually. It just feels like her power is growing. She's gathering
just
it
like
kind of like
yeah,
a
charging
storm
up.
of like
Absolutely.
very thematically
Absolutely.
matches.
Definitely,
Yeah.
definitely. All right, let me jump to my second save here.
While you jump over there, Joe, we
Yeah.
are doing a poll. So voting for whether we're going to bring Morbius and Blade or Spider-Man and Venom on a mission with Storm.
Yeah,
Later in
so
the
that'll be
stream.
coming up
So go ahead
soon.
and vote.
So yeah, put your vote in now for which of the other, Morbius and Venom were both earlier heroes in our season pass. So we'll see, which pair do you want to see go on a mission with Storm, and we'll do that in a few minutes.
Yeah,
Bats or spiders?
that's right.
All
What a
right.
choice.
Take your pick.
Which bloodsucker do you want?
Yeah.
Wait,
exactly.
yeah, that's true. That's what spiders do.
Okay, so we'll set up here on our next mission. So we are going to see Transia, which is, the
Nice.
Midnight Sun story kind of goes through 3 different acts. The first is in New York City, the second is in the American Southwest, and then the third takes place in Transia, which is a region in in Eastern Europe. And so I don't think we've shown many Transia missions off and that location off in our live streams before. So we're gonna go there. We've got our mutant team lined up
Nice.
here with some X-Men. Everyone in
X-Men.
classic outfits here. I love the Wolverine's cowboy hat is
Yep.
gold and got one of This is one of Storm's alternate legendary outfits and costumes that comes with the season pass. That is her, punk rock Storm. So she is a total badass. Looks amazing. All right, so we are in some Transian ruins here, fighting off against Lilin. So Lilin are all controlled by Lilith, who I said is the mother of demons and the main antagonist of the game. So she has all these demonic minions that are
So-
around. So we are going to have a battle against them.
Yeah, so as you said, we're taking a look at Transia and the different groups that are part of that. You have been writing missions and dialogue
yes.
happening in there. So what has been your experience with that area and theme of the game?
Interesting question. Yeah, Transia is kind of a fun place to live and explore because it's very spooky. It's very Dracula, Transylvania-y, and it's interesting. And you're like, well, it kind of makes sense for people like Morbius to be there in the DLC. But what is Storm? But
Yeah.
surprisingly, Storm actually has some magical roots and sort of creepy Dracula themes. I don't know. I know Cody,
Yeah.
you know quite a bit about that.
Yeah, yep. So there's a few, and I guess if we want to talk the magical part of it, funny enough, you have Magic here, who was at one point kidnapped into limbo, and there's an iteration of Storm there that is a magician, solely a magician in there, and to help Magic escape limbo, Storm trained Magic on how to use magic so that she could get out of there.
And this was like an alternate version of Storm, alternate reality version of Storm, technically, but it still kind of shows that our world's version of Storm could theoretically have some magical potential.
Yes.
Which is the thing they've talked about at several points throughout the comics. And I believe one of her ancestors is like Agamotto or something. It's like related to the Eye of Agamotto that Doctor Strange currently has.
Yeah, I think at some point she's been sorceress supreme.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
And
So-
we have
They don't just
She's got
give
quite
that
the
out
resume.
anyway.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
we have a team of X-Men on this mission, right?
Uh-huh.
So
We do.
Tell us about that. Ben? Anyone?
Tell us about the X-Men.
Yeah. What is Storm's relation to Wolverine and Magic?
Storm was on giant-sized X-Men when Chris Claremont came back in the 70s and revitalized the brand. The X-Men weren't like the most powerful characters in the Marvel Universe until like the 70s when they got sort of revamped, that classic giant-sized X-Men. And Storm was a part of that team, sort of that second, I want to call them founding team. They're not really founders, but they are sort of like the team that became popular. So Storm and Wolverine were both there at the beginning of that popularity surge. So it's kind of cool. They're really established characters, and in the comics, they have a friendship. I think Wolverine respects Storm and her leadership in a way that he doesn't respect other people. It's certainly not Cyclops.
Yeah. And how do we see that in the Abbey develop?
Oh, in our game, sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's cool because to be clear, I did not write Storm in this game. You know, full credit to Emma who wrote Storm and put a lot of beautiful words in her mouth.
And she joined us for a previous live stream.
Right.
We've had Emma on before. Yeah.
Go back and watch that Deadpool live stream if you want to see her. Unfortunately, she wasn't able to make it, but happy to stand in. This ugly mug, I guess. But it was fun to like see from the writer's perspective and see what she did with the character and their relationship with Wolverine in particular. There is some, you know, there's some dialogue scenes between the two of them. You'll see them interacting in a way that they clearly have an appreciation for each other. Same with Magic too. Like Magic and Storm, you see them a little bit more actually in the cutscenes for Storm's DLC. Her and Magic interact a little bit more, and Magic has an interesting history with the X-Men. It feels like she kind of like walked away, not on fully great terms, but she definitely respects them, and but she feels that the Midnight Suns are really her home.
Right.
But Storm's like, you know, you're welcome back anytime you want, Magic. And it's cool, the whole story, just to set that up, is Storm is actually pursuing a mutant character named Dahlia, who is a healer character. Right. And
Dahlia's a new character that is not previously in the comics. This character that we created for for Storm storyline.
For Storm storyline, yeah. And they're pursuing her, and Dahlia gets mixed up with the Morlocks, who are a band of characters that are actually from the comics.
Led by Storm.
That Storm has a huge history with as well, actually.
Yep.
Storm led the Morlocks for a while in the comics. So she gets mixed up with them, and they're pursuing Dahlia, and then Dracula shows up.
Fun times.
Fun times. And then there's blood on the walls all of a sudden. So yeah.
How's the mission going, Joe?
Good, pretty well. So we've got our two most threatening Lilin who are still hanging out, unfortunately, but this is one of Storm's pretty powerful rare abilities, so it only costs 1 heroism to stun an enemy. And it also, while it is in your hand, gives Storm a pretty significant offense boost, so increases the damage of all of her other cards. So this is a fun one, because while it doesn't explicitly have next turn on it, it's a card where you're like, oh, do I really want to stun this enemy right now, or do I just want to keep holding on to it to get the power boost? And it's a good trade-off. So I think, even though, let me see, okay, I don't have a move left. Even though this Dark Legion can be very dangerous, I don't want it to split this Guardian, so I think I'm going to stun them, even though it just has a sliver of health left, which I'm not going to be able to take out this turn. So we will...
Good old live wire.
Good old
and this is one
live
of
wire.
Storm's
That was my nickname.
really cool outfits that we can.
Yeah,
right?
absolutely. I can like get a little
The
bit closer
mohawk.
here. I didn't show this off as much, but yeah, you love the Mohawk look. Just the fantastic
I was going to wear that today,
black
but glad I
leather.
didn't.
Yeah, that would have been
it's
embarrassing.
amazing.
To show up. It looks the same.
Next time. All right. But yeah, I thought it was really interesting talking to, or going through the relationship between Storm and the Hunter in this game, because Storm is very much the lead, or one of the leaders, the primary leaders of the X-Men. And so she has a lot to relate to with the Hunter, who's put in this position of now needing to be the leader of the Midnight Suns. So they have a lot that they can relate to about, the mantle of leadership and what approach they take with the younger, members of their teams, and how to relate to them and how to connect in that leadership mode. So it's cool to see the similarities there. But Storm didn't always start that way, right? Like she was kind of a
I mean, when her first when she was first discovered, she was a thief.
Oh,
Pickpocket.
discovered by Xavier.
Xavier.
Okay.
Yeah. And in another reality, Dracula.
Okay.
But in both cases, she was still a mutant who grew to what she is today.
Well, and she's been worshipped as a goddess
Yes.
in Africa too, and she married
Black Panther.
T'Challa
That's
and
right.
became
That's
the
right.
Queen
Yeah,
of
she's like the Queen of
Wakanda
Wakanda.
for a
Yep,
while.
for a
and-
little bit. I think when she was depowered.
Yeah.
For a
bit.
little bit, just
Yeah,
like
just a little bit.
A little
You know,
while.
just
I guess I'll be
very
queen.
small arc. She didn't have any powers, but then when she was there, she had advanced combat training with T'Challa, so she can basically, throw down the same way he can.
Well, she was already a pretty skilled
Yeah.
warrior, yeah. And she, more recently, she's like ruling on Mars.
Yes.
So the
Yep.
mutant population has
Wow.
colonized Mars and made it into
they-
a habitable.
Iraqi
Comics, ladies and
Or
gentlemen.
Saraka.
This is what
Yeah.
or
happens.
something like that. Yeah, she was like the one picked from Krakoa to go and what do you call it? Lead those people.
So, like you said,
That's
she's got a really
crazy.
good resume. Really,
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's
I would
really
hire Storm.
We
very,
couldn't turn
very
her
impressive.
down.
Yep.
Even on Krakoa, right? She's part of the group that can basically, with Charles Xavier and a couple other mutants, resurrect anybody who's gone, like who's passed away.
Yeah,
like
yeah.
but
Yeah, the comics are interesting.
yeah.
Interesting lore these days, but it's fun.
Yeah. We got a question from
Oh.
Twitch, Joe, from Dark Geed. For folks who are just joining us, could you explain the next turn mechanic and how it stacks?
How it's stacked. Okay, sure. So taking Crushing Blow, for example, generally the next turn mechanic will only trigger once. So I just drew Crushing Blow into my hand. The next turn, that effect will activate. So in this case, it's going to give this Crushing Blow card a boost in damage and also increase in heroism cost. For example, another Storm card we had earlier was Vortex, which knocks back every enemy in a radius. That has a next turn, I believe when you upgrade it, that will change that knockback into Forceful Knockback. So the majority of the next turn effects are just kind of one and done, where it's like the next turn effect triggers, at the start of the next turn, you'll see the card update, and then the next turn effect will go away. Crushing Blow is the one exception to that rule, where it will just retain next turn until it goes all the way up to 10 heroism, if you want to hold on to it for that long. So we can see example of that here. I might wait until next turn to do this. I'll just let this Guardian attack, and then we can really go deep with showing that off. Next turn.
It is
so
cool
let's
'cause
go ahead.
next turn, nobody else really has cards that do that. I guess there's
Right, yeah, it is.
there's-
It's unique. It is totally unique to Storm. There are a couple cards in the base game. One of Hunter's abilities, where it's like, oh, if you leave this in your hand, the heroism cost will decrease over time.
Patience.
But yeah, it's called Patience. Is one of Hunter's abilities. But yeah, Storm is the only hero that is really kind of built around that mechanic.
So it's cool that even in the DLC we're adding new abilities, new mechanics. So it's,
Absolutely,
I don't know. I
absolutely.
think
We
it's
very
really
much
worthwhile.
want each of the heroes in the game, both from the season pass and from the base game. Every hero wants to have their own identity and their own kind of gameplay, twist for them. So they all feel unique to play. And then, of course, when you put them in combination with a group of 3 heroes together on your mission squad, that every combination feels very unique and different and satisfying to play. All right, so better next turn example. So this is a card we just drew in our hand called Call the Lightning. It is one of Storm's very powerful epic abilities. It is just a giant damaging AoE. If I wait, for the next turn, until my next turn, the increased area of effect will activate. I also have a cheat card here. Goddess's Blessing is extremely powerful for Storm, where it will draw Storm cards into your hand, and then it will immediately activate next turn on all the Storm cards in your hand. So we will start off with that. We'll see what cards we draw, and then we should see that next turn activate on Call the Lightning. All right, so there we go. We saw, Call the Lightning and Crushing Blow both just popped up there. Call the Lightning now, no longer has the next turn keyword. It just has the increased area of effect. Arc, the normal version of this ability is chain 1, and then it has next turn chain +3. So since that activated immediately from Goddess's Blessing effect, we're now at chain 4. So very powerful for a standard attack. We have, let's see, do I have enough to take out this Guardian? I think I might. We're going to use Crushing Blow first, and then I think we might have enough with the other abilities to take him out. All right.
Very cool.
So
From
that,
a design perspective, how do you go about when you start thinking about things like next turn? Do you start to think about it from like, okay, what character would we have? What are their powers? How could that possibly go into the mechanics we already have? Or do you think about it from the mechanics first of like, what would be fun to add to our existing system and how could that match the character?
yeah, it really depends on the hero and the character and kind of how we want to approach it. With Storm, it was kind of a mix where we knew we wanted, next turn was a very simple gameplay mechanic that just kind of bore out really well, and we were very excited about the gameplay mechanic. So for Storm, the gameplay piece kind of came first, and then we figured out the best way to attach it to her abilities and make it feel really satisfying for her as a hero. For a character like Venom, for example, was much more coming from the kind of thematic narrative side. It was like Venom is always hungry, and he's kind of
He likes to eat.
he likes to eat. He's always kind of chaotic and kind of hard to control. So the ravenous mechanic and him being very kind of bursty and having high damage came out of that. Okay, I really want Venom. When you play Venom, I want the player to feel this specific way, and then kind of develop the gameplay based on that. So there's kind of a story behind that for all of the heroes in the game. Magic's another great example where she's the queen of limbo. Her mutant ability is to kind of teleport and create portals around, so we knew we wanted portals to be the foundation of her ability kit. Wolverine is, he's frenzying all the time. He's running around, dashing between enemies, just slicing and dicing, so he's very fast, has a lot of chain ability. So the mechanics, generally, we always want to make sure that at the end of the day, they reflect the hero. And either coming from a strong character or coming from a cool gameplay idea, it's kind of a toss-up, but we certainly have a mix and match of how we got to that point for all the heroes on the roster.
That comic book title's hilarious.
The Strange Defender. Yeah, look at that pose.
It's a
All
good
right.
band photo.
That's pretty cool.
I like it. I can't wait to hear their next single.
Yeah. All right.
So now we're going to take a look at Storm's upgrade in the Abbey, right?
Absolutely.
And we've got the winner has been announced.
Okay.
It
Ooh,
is
who's the
Spider-Man and Venom.
All right, cool. We're just talking about
Yeah.
Venom. You'll get
hard
to
to
see. Like,
Yeah.
that is a tough combo to beat. That is
Yeah.
a tough combo to beat. Spidey and Venom are quite the pair.
Yep.
Yeah,
All right, so I'll get that loaded up here.
absolutely.
So I will say, just comment quickly, so we did say about the Hunter being fully customizable. They've got a lot of awesome, costume pieces and outfits you can wear. You can see our Hunter's got this great, I also put the Hunter in, even though we didn't use them on that mission, I wanted to make sure they shared the same look. So the Hunter in this outfit definitely matches Storm with her punk rock outfit.
That is a sweet outfit,
So,
actually.
very cool.
Yeah.
All right, let us get set up for Storm's Abbey upgrade here. So Storm, we have an upgrade from the base game called the Threat Room, which is kind of a training area that Magic helps the heroes establish. That is a place in Limbo where the heroes can go and beat up on a bunch of enemies and gain some experience, level up, test out your abilities. It's kind of a training grounds area. Very, very clearly inspired by the Danger Room from X-Men. So of course we're adding Storm into the game now, straight from the X-Mansion. We had to inject a little bit of the Danger Room flair in there. So that is Storm's Abbey upgrade that she provides if you kind of complete her research projects. It lets you enhance the Threat Room. So I'm just going to casually show off my Stormified Hunter here, rocking the
It looks like a Dazzler.
Dazzler.
That's what I was gonna say.
Yeah, Dazzler
gonna say
reference
that.
T-shirt there. So.
All right.
All right. Okay, so let's go. Oh, wait. Who's that? Oh, hey. All right. We've got Eddie
Hey,
Brock.
there's
Eddie
Eddie.
Brock hanging out here. Just checking in. How you doing, Abby? So, yeah, we haven't really shown off much of the Abbey yet. So this is the Abbey. We've got all the heroes just, kind of able to hang out in the common room. Wolverine's hanging out here, watching the news. Everyone else is around, I'm sure. We've got our Forge down here where Doctor Strange and Tony Stark hang out and help upgrade your abilities, craft new ability cards for your heroes, do all their research.
And Morbius too, right?
Yep, Morbius hangs out here as well. Actually, let's go say hi to Morbius. I don't know if
He's not.
he's not here.
right
This
now.
is his laboratory, is his upgrade.
There he
But
is.
we'll come check back in with him in a few minutes. He can get some upgrades for us. Go see the good doctor.
I like his lab coat too. He's like,
Yeah.
I really want
that's
to make
one
this
of
official.
that's one of his. That's one of his. Hey, he's a doctor. He's
yeah.
All right, looks like we got a bunch of people hanging out here. Oh yeah, Storm's hanging out. Let's see. Oh, all right. What does she want to talk to me? Oh, getting Bruce. All right.
I do not blame them if they are. We had to fight the Hulk many times.
We all know he was under Lilith's command. We gave Wanda the opportunity to regain our trust.
All right. So you get, as you're going through your dialogue, conversations with the heroes, you sometimes have the option to make different choices that can affect the hunter's kind of alignment towards the light side or the dark side. Not Star Wars associated, but the conflict within themselves.
Yeah.
So so that's fun. You kind of get different rewards for the hunter based on whether you choose more of the light path or the dark path,
It's nothing
or you can
serious,
stay kind of right in the middle
but
and
I'm
be
wondering if
relatively
you think
balanced.
everyone who has
Sometimes the
done
heroes will
something
ask for your
bad is
opinion on things, and it
capable
will
of
affect your
changing.
friendship with them and your relationship. So let's see. I'll say, what is Storm at? I wonder if do you think everyone who's ever done something bad is capable of changing? Yes, of course. Of course, people are
Everyone is
capable of changing
capable
and
of
redeeming
changing
themselves.
themselves.
Let's see. I
They
assume
must put in
Storm
the
will
work.
Storm will like
appreciate
that, I
that
think.
comment.
Yeah.
So let's see.
It's nice
Yep.
to know
All right. Well,
we
there we go.
agree.
We got our light balance point. We agree.
I get the feeling
This
you
is
have
good.
given second chances to those who did not deserve
Ooh,
it.
Wow,
all right.
spicy.
Hunter's
Maybe
Con.
so.
Con Storm out
But they
there.
deserve the chance to prove me wrong.
Nice.
If you'll excuse me, I need to introduce.
Okay, so Storm's gonna go hang out with Bruce.
And this is something else really cool that our DLC characters throughout the season pass have really been integrated into the story.
That's
so
right.
if you play the story from start to finish and you bring them on, you're going to see them react to the same things that all the other characters react
Absolutely,
to, which was
absolutely.
a big undertaking for the narrative
Yeah,
team.
yeah,
So
it was
that's
it was a huge goal for the narrative team to make sure that the characters felt like they were as part of the story and the narrative, because you can play the season pass heroes and their storylines at any point in the base game campaign. There are a couple contingencies where Venom is corrupted by Lilith very early in the story, so you need to kind of rescue him before you can recruit him to the roster, of course. But once you kind of get through those, get past those points in the story, whether you've beaten the game or you're kind of just starting out, the DLC, the Season Pass heroes are available for you to use, and then they will stay with you for the whole campaign.
And there's like friendship conversation levels that you gain. You can max out their friendships, and there's special conversations too. Like right before the last mission of the game, we wrote conversations with all of the characters, the new characters, leading up to the last fight with Lilith too. So. If you like the game, I think it's worth going through it again. And
Playing with the Season Pass being complete tomorrow, it would be absolutely worth it to go through again and see what all those new narrative injections are. All right, so here we're looking at the enhanced threat room. So the first tier of the threat room, it is always a battle that you fight against soulless enemies, which are one of our kind of demonic enemies in the game, and you can only pick one hero to go in at a time. So now with the enhanced threat room, Storm has 2 tiers of this upgrade that you can build. Of course, it makes it look a little bit more danger room-like, get some high-tech elements thrown around our threat room portal here. You can now choose the number of heroes that you want to bring in, so you can train up multiple heroes at a time. You can pick the difficulty of the mission, your enemy type, the mission level, whether you want easy, normal, or hard, and you could choose to pick a villain. So if there are villains that you really like fighting, but once they're out of the story, this is a simulation training area, so we'll just kind of ignore that and say you can fight whoever you want. So
can you have Venom fighting Venom?
We could, yeah. You could bring in Venom and have him fight against Fallen Venom. Go crazy with the possibilities here. I think, let's see, I'm going to drop this down. I'm not ready for Ultimate 3 in this threat room mission.
It's coming
Wait,
for you, man.
Ultimate 3 is coming. It's coming. We'll start here. There's something very specific I want to show off. So we have your selection of your enemy types here that we have in the game. We'll look at the vampires. They are our Season Pass hero. And for a special treat, we'll show off Dracula as our villain. So no story spoilers here. Will just be gameplay, but we can take a look at Dracula in Midnight Suns. Okay, so we've got Storm, and we said we are going in with Venom and Spider-Man. So we've got them all decked out in their Midnight Suns outfits here. So
Storm's Midnight
looking
Sun outfit looks
awesome.
great.
That's killer, yeah.
Yeah. Just let that linger for a second there. Those are awesome looks for all three of these characters. Okay. So we will dive in. I remember we've definitely seen Sin on our live stream. She was the other villain in our season pass. We haven't really seen Dracula other than talking about that. Yeah, he is kind of the villain, kind of pulling the strings behind the scenes. But he is very, very fun to fight. So we'll see how this goes. I will make sure we get a chance to see his abilities. But he is, the Lord of Vampires and becomes very, very deadly and dangerous with a lot of other vampire enemies on the board. So he has a 50% chance to counter any bleeding attacker. So whenever a hero attacks him, if they are currently bleeding, very high chance that he's going to counter you. And of course, when you are fighting a bunch of vampires, it is very, very likely that your heroes will be bleeding. So that can happen pretty quickly. He also recovers health whenever he damages a bleeding hero. So either on his turn when he's doing his abilities, or if he is counter-attacking you, he will, constantly be, sucking your blood and regenerating his life force there. So very dangerous. We will be, we will be careful, but purpose of this mission is it's a training area. It doesn't impact the story. We're just here to gain experience. So we'll just have fun with it and let Dracula show off some of his stuff here, take out some vampires along the way.
I love Dracula's design too. It's so I don't know,
He's really
very
fantastic.
classic and campy, and I love it.
Yes,
Yeah.
he is a polished gentleman vampire. Yeah, I love the collar. I love the cloak. Yeah, our art team did an amazing
also
amazing
large.
job designing him. He is also
towering, yeah.
Big
a
boy.
very intimidating figure, as befits the ruler of all vampires.
You know, he goes up against. He has a bit of a vendetta with Mephisto during our season pass, so
That
he
is
has to
true.
he has to match size. You know.
Yeah.
Ah,
Oh,
okay.
absolutely.
Can't have Mephisto towering over.
Mephisto, another great, another
Yeah.
great villain character in Midnight Suns. Very, very fun to see.
Yeah.
Okay, let's get. Oh, all right. We've got Devouring Strike here. So yeah, let's talk about Venom quick for a second. Give him some time in the sun. So Venom, as I mentioned earlier, has a ravenous mechanic where he starts every mission with a big increased damage boost based on his ravenous, and every time you play Venom attacks and heroic abilities, the ravenous is consumed. So you have to be careful about managing when you're using your Venom abilities, but he will slowly regenerate his ravenous over time. So starts out really hungry, gets a little bit sated, and then keeps getting more hungry. So he is, so he's very, very fun to kind of charge around with. So we've got a chain 4 here, looking to KO a bunch of enemies so it doesn't consume ravenous. So let's just have Venom rip through these vampires.
Oh. Ooh. Nice.
All right.
And with Storm's next turn ability, do you think that there are other characters that pair really well with that?
So we'll see. Next turn specifically is tricky to pair other heroes with because it's a mechanic that's totally unique to Storm. So there isn't any other hero who can like activate next turn on Storm's abilities. But Storm also has, we haven't talked about her passives yet, which I do have active here. So Storm's passive is Rising Storm, and that gives her a default chance to stun enemies with any of her attacks. So especially with Vortex, with her knockback abilities, that her AoE abilities, Arc is her chain lightning ability. All of those have a chance to stun, and that chance is increased by, when you get to tier 2 of the passive, that stun chance is increased based on the number of Storm abilities that you have in your hand. So it makes next turn feel pretty good. If you can hold on to those cards, then there's a very high chance that you'll be stunning enemies. So because Storm is pretty effective with that stun mechanic, she ends up pairing very well with the Hulk, who is the last hero that you unlock in the base game, who also has a bunch of cards that capitalize on stun. So we will see Hulk in a little bit. I am definitely going to be using Hulk for my ultimate 3 mission attempt today because of that synergy. I also think Storm pairs really well with Doctor Strange and with Nico as great heroism generators and as people who can draw a lot of hero cards and basically get Storm to the point where the hand is filled with a lot of Storm cards, all the next turn effects can trigger, and then Storm can just unleash and go crazy.
Those two are really also good at buffing cards as well.
Absolutely, absolutely. So you can set Storm up for success.
Yeah.
But
We did
she-
get a question on YouTube.
Oh, cool.
Does Storm unlock a combat item, and what does it do?
She does. I don't have it here, but Storm unlocks a combat item called the Rune of Force, and when you play it, it causes all of your shoves to have forceful knockback for 2 turns, I believe, instead of just regular knockback. So it upgrades all of the shoves for your entire squad for, I'm pretty sure it's for 2 turns.
Oh,
Wow,
So that can
that'd
be,
handy.
that
Yeah.
can be
Very handy.
pretty powerful. All right, so here's the slider I was talking about earlier with our cool environment attacks. Spider-Man gets some bonuses for using environment attacks based on his opportunist ability I used earlier. So he's wrecking shop here. But I think this is, all right, well, let's see. We don't have any heroism left.
Yeah.
We've got a few enemies around, but
We're
let's
done.
see what Dracula does.
Oh.
Ooh,
Oh,
doing
more
big.
Venom.
Oh.
Yikes. Big Shadow Strike attack from Dracula there. Did not feel good. Ooh, all right. So,
My gosh.
Oh my god. What?
yeah, so he is just dashing around,
This guy.
applying vampire bites to a lot of Venom's abilities there.
That guy was like, me too.
Yeah, huge horde of vampires coming in. And this is why I wanted that Hydra Mystic to be taken out quickly earlier.
Hemolisk.
So,
Oh,
okay.
That is rough stuff.
We have some work to do here. So, Let's see.
That's what my therapist said.
A resident stand-up comedian. That
Yeah. Probably made that same joke last time.
yeah.
Probably.
All right. Oh, all right. We don't have any heroes
Joke?
left.
What joke?
Let's. Okay, so Spidey can take out a bunch of these minions. This card does have a vampire bite on it,
Oh.
so it will cause
Yeah, sure.
Spidey to gain bleeding, which is risky. Always risky when you have vampires on the board, because they just have that blood sense. They can upgrade themselves, evolve into elite vampires. We'll see
But-
if anyone. Oh, all right. Yep, this guy's gonna react. All right, so he now turned into an elite vampire from that effect.
And now he's
Let's
a Dracula target too, right?
Now, who's Dracula target?
Spider-Man.
Oh yeah. Oh, because he's bleeding. So I have to be
Yeah.
careful. If I attack Dracula with Spider-Man, then Dracula has a very high chance of countering. Okay, so we've got Venom Venom can chain here. Get some health
Some good
back, which
heal.
is good. All right. Ooh, all right. So I have.
I like that this tiny map kind of lets you see the actual scale of the characters too.
Yeah.
I feel
Yeah.
like when we're on those giant maps, it's hard to see how
Right, you look at
absolutely
how
massive Venom
Yeah,
is.
you've got we'll both how massive Venom is, and also how imposing Dracula is
Yeah.
as well. Okay, so let's throw Dracula around a little bit here.
Nice.
Venom can handle it. He's a big boy.
I'm excited for this mode to get in the hands of our players too, because I think there's going to be so many interesting combinations.
There are lots of
a lot of
lots of
challenges
really
that are
fun
gonna come up.
combos here.
I'm excited to see how everyone breaks the game by
Yes,
setting up
absolutely.
these missions.
Like Cody was saying earlier, you could have Venom fight Venom, you could have Hulk fight Hulk, and yeah, you can kind of go crazy with the villain combos here. You can definitely set up situations that you would never encounter in the base game, probably for good reasons. Not letting enemy groups mix as much or villains mix as much. But, okay, so we've got some free Spider-Man abilities at our disposal now due to his Midnight Sun ability. Spidey's on fire.
Yeah.
All right. Oh, okay. We've got more vampires spawning from the Hemolisk here.
Right.
It's just the vampire party.
So as Deadpool said, what? It's the egg sack, right?
Yeah.
But there's
it's
no
the vampire
there's no
egg
bacon sack.
No.
No.
We got a question about
Okay.
what the other Storm costume is. Does anyone remember? We'll have to take a
The
look.
other Storm costume is a very, very classic X-Men Storm look. Once we finish this mission, remind me again.
Okay.
I'll pull it up. We can take a look at it. Okay. Oh, all right. So we've got a hero combo here. Let's use this combo on Dracula. 25% chance to apply stun. So again, very good for Storm. That is her kind of hero combo bonus that she can provide once your friendship is high enough. So let's see if we can stun Dracula here. Maybe not, if you want to see him do more cool abilities, but
Ooh. Toasty.
good Spidey and Storm action there.
Yep.
Oh no!
Oh.
Oh, he's gonna
Oh.
counter. Oh, I
Oh,
forgot about
cool.
that. Countered in Spidey and got some health back. All
And
right.
he's bleeding again.
And now the vampires are
Blood
reacting to the bleeding. More
Ah.
upgrades. Okay. Thank you. All right. Let's see. I've got one more redraw here. Maybe we'll get a Spidey ability. All right. Well, we've got Storm's Midnight Sun ability, which is great. But let's see if we can. All right. We can do a little bit more damage here.
But this is cool because it's a threat room, right? So
Yeah.
like, at the end of the day, the heroes aren't really fighting anything.
Yeah,
real.
it's it's a
just-
simulation. It's
Yeah,
a simulation.
That's right.
Yeah, magical.
It's all
simulation.
good. It's
And
all
your heroes can't get injured in the threat room,
Right, they
correct?
can't gain
Yeah.
injuries. Oh, yep, Spidey just got KO'd, but he's fine. He's fine.
No.
Don't worry about it. Don't worry. It's all in his head.
It's not a
all in
real
his head.
injury, yeah.
Taking a nap.
Ooh.
Oh.
Ooh.
Oh.
I loved it. That's an awesome
Yeah.
visualization. Oh, super, super cool. Very painful. More bleeding. So, yep, Dracula is designed to be very, very punishing when fighting with vampires. So he is, yeah. Oh, man. These guys
Oh,
just
more coming to the party.
Yeah.
All right.
And then plus, you know,
Keep
you got
on
the,
coming.
The Hemolisk as well too. You gotta
Yep.
pop some more out probably.
They certainly could. Okay, so it might be time for us to talk about Storm Shield.
Nice.
One of Storm's great rare abilities, potentially one of the most broken abilities that we have in the game.
Yeah.
It will give you Storm one resist whenever it is in your hand, so she just gained a resist for drawing it. And if you play it, it will give you give all of your heroes, not Storm, but all of your allies, 2 resist, and when it's upgraded, it adds 1 counter.
Dang.
So great protective ability, and it generates 2 heroism. You really can't beat it. It's phenomenal. Always going to be a good choice. We'll see if we can get enough heroism here. I think we can with Symbiotic Senses to use Hellstorm, which is Storm's Midnight Sun ability. Deals more damage based on the number of Storm cards you have in your hand. So I was talking a little bit to Ben earlier about how it can be beneficial for you to get a bunch of Storm abilities all lined up for next turn. Hellstorm is definitely the epitome of that, since it will really scale up based on the number of Storm abilities that you have at your disposal. Okay, this is not looking good. Oh, all right, maybe we can turn this around here. Spike Burst is pretty solid.
Yeah,
Very
some good
powerful
AoE.
AoE here. Let's see if I can get both of these vampires.
Yeah.
All right, so we'll let Venom kind of go off here
There we
and
go.
take out a bunch of these guys.
Boom.
All right,
Nice.
very good.
Cut
Over
him in
the
half.
crypt.
Yep. Okay. Ooh,
Nope.
all right. Ooh,
Oh.
multiple vampire attacks coming in.
Who are they going after? Oh, and they transform.
All right,
Okay.
they're going after Venom. That's the problem with these guys. Yeah, you've got to pay attention to the bleed mechanic.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so do I want... You know what? I think I'm going to... Oh, all of these guys are playing... Or are targeting Storm here.
Yeah.
That is tricky. Because if I play... She has resist. If I play Storm Shield, it will give resist to Venom, but not to Storm. Arc is not going to become chain 4 until the next turn. I don't have enough heroism to play Hellstorm. Let's see. I don't know. This might be...
You have a redraw.
I
if it-
do have a redraw.
worth it.
Okay, let's see what else we got here. Oh, you know,
You should-
let's see.
Oh.
That's pretty good, but that has bleed on it. Although that will cure Venom, but gain additional bleed. I don't know if I want to take that risk right now.
Right.
Let's see what else. Oh, okay, redraw cure. That is good. Definitely could have used that. Lethal Embrace is pretty good here. Let's see.
Give Dracula a hug, maybe?
I could give
Yeah.
Dracula a hug.
He needs it.
Mm-hmm.
Let's see. I think I might. Oh, do I still? I do still have my move.
You getting ready for
I'm
that
thinking-
heroic 3, right?
Yeah, I know. And this is
how you
the
feeling?
ultimate 3, and I'm like,
Yeah.
this is heroic 1. This is what I'm telling you, folks. The threat room kind of can go crazy. Not
Yeah.
sure exactly.
Who balanced this
yeah,
game,
who balanced
Joe?
this?
Come on.
I don't know how the threat room came in. I just showed up one day and it was working. I was like, oh great, threat room's working. So
That's how games
enemy
evolve.
enemy lists. Who knows? It's fine. It's all for test. I mean, the objective of the threat room is to just survive for 3 turns. So
Yeah,
we
here we go.
should be almost at the end here. I don't know if we will quite make it because this is a lot of vampires.
with the
Yeah.
Y.
Yes,
It's like
vampires with a
vampires
Y.
drink free night or something. There's
It must be, yeah. Okay.
The happy hour.
Let's
Yeah.
at least we can use our shove here to take out 2 of them. So just
They ain't like that.
all right, and we should. All right, we can take out this elite. A little bit less damage. Venom still looking snazzy in his Midnight Sun suit. Okay, I think
You sweating, Joe?
a little bit. A little bit. I will be much more. This is making me very, very nervous for the ultimate
Yeah.
It's
three
also
mission.
hot in here, you know? There's
It
a
is.
lot of-
It is a little warm in
That's
here.
what we
It's a little
can
warm
blame
in
on.
here, but it's fine. It's fine. Everything's gonna be fine. Okay, let's see. Yeah, turns remaining just 1.
Yeah. Shout out
We
to the
will-
live stream team for lighting us so beautifully.
Yeah.
Yeah. But we suffer for it. It's very hot in here.
Oh, there's your Dracula again. Okay.
the power of the sun.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which is not good for Dracula.
Oh. Uh-oh.
Oh. This thing looks so cool.
That's it. Yeah. Dracula's ability visualization.
Oh.
Oh, and he just like refilled
Rude.
almost back up to full life there. Oof.
Is he gonna
Okay. I don't know.
You're
Oh no! 'cause
Yeah, you
it-
got it.
Oh, we did. Objective complete. Survive the enemy
That's
threat.
all we need.
That's what we got. All right.
Oh, Venom, the MVP.
Yeah. He made it. He made it
Tank.
through.
Nice job.
Made it through. All right.
Nice job.
3 stars.
3 stars. Wow. All right. Yeah.
Not too bad. Not
Who
too
made
bad.
that choice? Okay.
Yeah.
All right, so now we will be just back at the Abbey. So the only restriction with the threat room is every hero can go in once per day. So those heroes have now done their training, got a good workout, really got, we're gonna wipe the floor with that. So now we'll get ready for our Ultimate 3 attempt. So, I can pretty quickly, I'll show off Storm's other Abbey outfit here.
Yeah.
So we've got pretty awesome customization available for all of our heroes. You can take a look at some of Storm's Abbey outfits here. Got
Some X-Men
a lot of
gear.
X-Men gear.
Xavier's
Oh, hey, she's got the Dazzler shirt as well.
Big Dazzler fan.
So very cool. And then her combat outfits. So we've seen her default skin. Lots of palettes and color options for all the costumes. We saw Punk Storm, and this is there we
Silver
go.
suit.
The silver
Nice.
The other
suit.
classic.
Silver suit Storm. So love that hairdo.
It's like 90s all over
Oh,
again.
yeah.
Absolutely.
Yep.
Absolutely. So great, another great outfit selection. Okay, so our final mission attempt of the day.
All right.
We're going back to Transia and doing an Ultimate 3 Protect Hydra device mission. We are taking as our allies Doctor Strange
Nice.
and Hulk,
Nice.
two great support heroes. Well, Hulk maybe not as much support, but Hulk will really be able to capitalize, hopefully, on Storm's stun mechanics.
I love the
We got
walkout.
Bruce. Yeah, Bruce is like taking his
not
pocket
right now.
protector
Yeah.
all the
He's
way
gotta
into
save
combat.
his energy.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Can't
No,
be
it's not
walking
going to Hulk
around
out
as well.
yet. All right.
Joe, for the threat room, I assume that you get these characters like villains after you've met them in the game. Is
Yes.
that right? Okay.
Yes, that is correct. The threat room, so both the enemy types and the villains will become unlocked as you encounter them in the game, and then you can start fighting against them. Okay.
You got this, Joe.
Let's see,
I believe.
Thank you, Cody. I appreciate that. Okay, so first analysis here. Let's see. We have to protect. All right, so we have to protect the Hydra device that's in the back right corner there. I know that since this is Ultimate 3, all of these enemies are going to be dealing pretty significant damage. So I want to keep them from attacking the device for as long as possible. But right now, I am probably most worried, similar to the Lilin mission we did earlier about this Dark Legion.
Yep.
Because if they
There you go.
get on a roll of being able to clone other enemies, that we are going to have some bad times.
Are those
So-
hounds marked?
Sorry?
Are those hounds marked, it looks like?
No, they are taunted right
Yeah.
now. So all of the Shadow Hounds always taunt to attack the same target. If they are taunted, they always choose the single hero target to attack. All the hounds, travel in a pack.
It's called the pack.
And will be attacked together. So, all right, let's see here.
At least the Dark Legion is next to a ley line.
It
There you go.
is, but I want to be careful because if I trigger the ley line
Right.
first, it's going to
split.
split, and then I've got two targets to deal with instead of one. So let's just set up here, try to get some heroism.
So
And
you're
have
thinking,
you-
like, do the maximum amount of damage in your first blow to him to whittle his health
Yes,
down?
yes, absolutely. So I noticed I did have Hulk's smash card in my hand, which applies stun. So that, when you stun a Dark Legion, that will prevent them from splitting, for that action at least, and will give Hulk some rage. So I think that's a pretty safe play to start with. So we'll get some damage on him. Actually, before I do that, I want to get to the point of being able to use this hero combo, because that's a lot of damage. I can use that on the Dark Legion. So I want to get to the point where I can hit him with that. I'll try to keep the Storm card in my hand, because that will be awesome next turn. Let's redraw this and see what else we got. Okay, Blessings of Vishanti's pretty good here.
And are all of these upgraded cards, Joe?
I am playing with all upgraded, all modded cards, not taking any chances. So the way that the upgrade system works in Midnight Suns, you start out with kind of the base ability copies of the cards, and then you can upgrade them, and every card has a specific upgrade that enhances its abilities in some way, gives it additional gameplay effects, more damage, reduces heroism cost. Then, beyond that, every ability can gain a modification or mod, and that is indicated by the little star in the upper left-hand corner, and those can be a huge variety of gameplay effects for every ability. So they're not specifically tailored to the hero or the cards. They're more generic effects, but can be very, very powerful. You can re-roll them on each abilities to really find ones that match with the build you're trying to go for each character. So for example, this, so for Arc here, I'm pretty sure this just has a damage boosting mod. Hulk here on Smash has an on redraw gain 1 resist, which is great. For Doctor Strange has a similar but slightly different mod of on redraw, recover 97 health. So I think, all right, so my plan here is I'm going to use Blessing of the Vishanti to boost the damage of all of the cards in my hand. I think then that will give additional damage to Smash. I can use that to stun the Dark Legion. Then I will have enough heroism to play the hero combo, and I can use that to take out the Dark Legion entirely. Okay. So let us
like a very elaborate
execute the plan here. All right. Okay, so I do have enough heroism already now because Blessing of the Vishanti generated it. I don't. Okay, so we will smash the Dark Legion with Hulk. Hulk will generate some rage, which increases his damage. Of course, he's the Hulk. If you damage him, he's going to get more angry. And now, all right, so now we do have enough damage on this combo. Let me just double check quick here. I want to make sure I'm using my last card play effectively. I'm going to go ahead and Neural Enhancer is a very, very powerful combat item. I'm going to trigger this now, so I know I start next turn with 4 card plays. That'll hopefully set me up for success. But yeah, let's go ahead and take out this Dark Legion.
That Guardian's going to attack the object.
I
That's
did
fine.
see the Guardian going to attack the device, but if we can definitely survive 1 turn
Yeah.
of the device being attacked.
Yep.
So we should be okay there. I also know now I could trigger this ley line and feel pretty safe doing so.
Take out one of the hounds at least.
And take out one of the hounds. So is that my best environment play right now? Let's see. Could Storm... Okay, so we don't have 2 heroism for that. I think that's going to be a good trigger. The ley lines are fun because they will regenerate every couple turns after you use them. So if I use this now, hopefully it will come back in another turn or 2 and I can potentially use it again. Okay, cool. So we took out one of the Shadow Hounds there. That reduces a bit of that threat. Excuse me. And we have some damage there. Ooh, you know what I might be able to do?
Knock him in?
I can potentially...
push him in.
Storm.
Yeah.
So Storm's going to take some damage from that as well, which I don't know. Is that worth the trade-off?
It's like a third.
I think this, let's see. All right, actually, that's probably a good call here because this ley line will apply weak to the Guardian. That reduces his damage. So I think I'm going to take that risk and trade off. Storm shouldn't be attacked this turn because both of the Shadow Hounds are targeting Doctor Strange. So let's weaken the Guardian. He won't deal as much damage to the device then. And that should set us up pretty well for the next turn. Doctor Strange should be able to survive both of these Shadow Hounds attacking. So I think we are pretty good here. I'm going to keep both of these cards in my hand, even though I have a redraw. Vapors of Altor can be very, very powerful next turn if I need to protect a hero, if I can't get them out of a sticky situation. Arc, we want to keep in the hand for Storm for next turn. Actually, this is good I'm talking through this, because I also think I want to use Utility Belt. This is Wolverine's combat item, also very powerful. Draw 2 Heroes cards. Let's draw 2 Storm cards now, so if we get next turn abilities, they will be fully activated and powered up.
There you go.
Perfect, perfect.
Nice.
Okay, we got Hellstorm. Next turn, this is a unique next turn mechanic in that it doesn't actually affect Hellstorm itself, or it indirectly affects Hellstorm. So next turn, when I start my next turn, the next turn, wow, a lot of next turns here. When the next hero turn begins, this effect will trigger on Hellstorm and draw 3 additional Storm cards into my hand that will boost Hellstorm's damage a bunch. We will definitely be playing that next turn, likely on the Guardian. It's going to be very powerful. Let's get there. I think we are ready. Oh.
And on Ultimate 3...
Oh, because Hulk knocked him back into the ley line, so he
Yeah.
got taunted. That's why he didn't attack the device.
Yeah.
But still, he was
That's
weakened.
but that's good.
He was weakened. That was
That's
good. The device has been protected. All right, Doctor Strange
That's
is
brutal.
looking rough there. Those hounds,
He's fine.
those
He's a
hounds
doctor.
have
He can
quite a
heal himself.
bite. Got some Hydra joining the fray here.
On Ultimate 3, you don't draw any recover cards.
You do not draw any revives
Which
on
makes it tough.
Ultimate 3. So, all right, there are my 3 additional Storm cards from Hellstorm. which is great. I do have a Phoenix Flame combat item in case of
Smart.
emergency, so we will hopefully not need that. But let's see, what did we get in our hand? We got Storm Shield. Very, very good to have here. Let's see, we have just full-on Storm cards in our hand right now, which is great, but we do need more Heroism. So I think, let's see, I think playing Storm Shield is going to be the right play here to protect Doctor Strange and Hulk a bit.
You could also Vapor.
I could Vapors, but I feel like I'm going to want to use, I might want to use one of the heroes.
Too.
It's true. Do I want to just not use Doctor Strange for the rest of this turn?
That's a big question.
No one's really targeting him right now
That-
either. I think. All right.
Okay.
Yeah. I think Storm Shield's a good
Okay,
play here
that's
since all of the enemies are targeting. All the Shadowhounds are targeting Hulk. That's okay because I want Hulk to be attacked. He will counter and deal a ton of damage. So let's start
We
with
need
that.
one of those like algebra.
I know.
things
Yeah.
coming
You're like
over your
see the
face.
Matrix. It's
Yeah,
like
yeah.
yeah.
Flowing through and everything.
Yeah.
All right, so we are ready for Hellstorm. Everyone give 3 cheers to Storms. Midnight Sun ability. It is also applying vulnerable with this mod. It is
720
fantastic.
damage.
720
That's crazy.
damage. Could
That's
be
a lot of
let's
damage.
see. Yeah, I don't think I want to. Oh, you know what? Let's juice this even more.
Oh.
We've Goddess's Blessing here, so we can draw 2 more storm cards. Activate next turn. So this will juice it even further and give us the
This
heroism
is the
that
ultimate
we need.
rethinking we need, Joe.
Yeah.
I know. Hey, this is, we're all going for it. Okay,
Oh.
so now we've got.
Wow.
Okay, so this is great because this will set us up once we attack this Guardian. I believe. Yep, we
thing's
do
gone.
have enough. He will just be nuked from this.
Obliterated.
Let us summon the
Oh,
Hellstorm.
this thing
Let's see
looks
it.
so cool.
Oh. It looks so good with the Midnight Sun streak, too.
Yeah.
Dang.
Got fire and lightning and tornadoes together.
Goodbye.
Beautiful. Goodbye. All right. I think we're in good shape now. We've got a quick ability here for Storm. So let's just keep rolling, see how we can thin out these enemies.
That's the spirit.
Thank you, Doctor. All right. Oh, all right. We have Call the Lightning now. We've got a bunch of options here.
And no one's targeting Doctor
Alright.
Strange, right?
Nope.
No one is targeting Doctor Strange.
Yeah.
I
They
feel
know
pretty
better.
confident about Hulk being able to survive some abilities. We have 1 card play left. Let's see. I can't. Oh, there we go.
Oh,
All
there
right.
you go.
25% chance to apply stun. That's pretty good. Yeah, we haven't seen Call the Lightning yet. Storm Showcase.
No escape.
She's just summoning all the storms this turn.
That's raining too.
Massive.
Wow.
Massive AoE. All right. All right, and we got a stun.
Oh,
we got
nice.
the Hydra guy was stunned there.
Nice.
We got a key card here, which I don't think I want to use.
No?
All right, and that's good. Doctor Strange card to hold in reserve here. Oh, let's see. I still have my shove available. So let's see. Can I take out? Ooh, just under with that Shadow Hound. But we'll go
You
ahead
can
and do
hit-
that. Take out the Hydra guy just to be safe.
Still got the Volt, right?
I do, but I don't have
You
any
wanna save it?
heroism.
Oh, that's
I don't have
right,
any
yeah,
heroism.
yeah.
So we've got, let's see. He's targeting Storm. She's got some block and resist. Shadowhounds are targeting Hulk. He's got resist, so we should be good to go here.
All right, we're getting close. We need
This
to
is
start
looking
the
good.
we need to start the the hashtag.
Oh, believe in Joe.
Believe in
Yeah,
Joe.
believe
Hashtag
in
believe
Joe.
in Joe.
I'm
Let's hear
feeling
it.
pretty good about this
Yeah,
one right now.
that's good.
I think getting rid of the Guardian, getting rid of the
Ah.
Dark Legion was definitely the priority.
Mm-hmm.
Got through that. I think we'll be all right here. Can definitely wrap it up. We do have to survive for 1 or
Yeah.
2 more turns, but the reinforcements coming in shouldn't be anything crazy.
That's so
Yeah,
weird.
I think there's a bunch
Wait.
of minions. One more wave.
Yep,
All
one
right,
more.
one more turn.
You take those two out
Let's.
easy.
All right, this
So you
is
don't
a
gotta worry
great,
about them.
great mission card here. Offensive rush, give a damage boost to all of our heroes. It is free because of one of my upgrades to the War Room in the Abbey, which is kind of Captain Marvel's station. Makes the first mission card you play in an encounter free.
Nice.
So that was a great acquisition from one of the enemies here. let's see Storm do some chain lightning. We've got that chain 4 from next turn.
They're gonna feel it.
So he's like,
Oof, nice.
all right. And now let's get Doctor Strange in on the action here.
Joe, did you pick a mission that was raining on purpose?
No, that was just
It's pretty
the weather.
thematic.
The
It feels
weather
good.
just worked out.
Yeah.
All right. Let's see. Okay. Well, all right. We've.
What about the ley
so
line?
close.
You guys
Yeah,
know?
the ley line is back. Trying to see. I don't have quite enough heroism to get the full damage bonus on Bolt of Balthak. So let's see if we can. This might be good. Use the other arc that we have. Maybe get a stun here. Oh, okay. No, we got a mark, so that's good. All right, now we should be able to. Yeah, now we can get a KO. Bolt of Balthak.
Oh, that's a good mission start on that one too.
Yeah. Yep.
It's in your best interest to quit now.
Ooh.
There we go.
Okay, protect the device. All right, taunt all enemies. We've just got this guy left. Let's have Storm. You know what? Well. No, all right. We'll play it a little safe here. We'll use.
And
we'll use Storm
Joe,
to throw this
what
in.
point in the story do we unlock Storm?
So that's a great question. Storm can be unlocked after you first encounter Wolverine and Sabretooth. That is about 6 or 7 missions into the game. Story missions. You have Wolverine shows up and is kind of introduced to the Hunter. And right after that point, Storm's mission also has, first mission, we saw the intro cinematic earlier, has Wolverine and Magic accompany her. So as soon as you kind of first meet Wolverine, then you can go on Storm. So if you're past that point, if you've seen Wolverine in the game, if you fought Sabretooth for the first time, then Storm will be ready to go for you. Okay, let's... Agamotto's Gaze. So Agamotto's Gaze here has a +2 heroism, so very, very good card for Doctor Strange here to set us up. See if we can get some of those Storm abilities back in our hand.
We got one.
We got one. Let's see if we can get. Oh, maybe I shouldn't have.
And you have
redone
a challenge here as well. Can you
Ooh,
speak to the
I
challenge
did,
mechanic?
yeah. So certain missions. Oh, it was okay. He drew the attack, but it wasn't. The next turn wasn't affected or wasn't active, so it was just chain 1 instead of a chain 4. But that's okay. We'll work around it. But yeah, so certain general missions will sometimes show up with bonus challenges for heroes to complete different things. So use a certain number of environment attacks, generate an amount of heroism, KO some number of enemies. So the one thing we had active for Storm here was to deal a certain amount of damage with Storm. We have far exceeded our target with using the Call the Lightning and Hellstorm. So we're good to go there. But those are definitely fun, kind of optional bonus objectives to work towards to get additional, to get bonus rewards. All right, so I think Hulk is lined up here, so we can shove these guys and close out the mission. There we go.
Nice.
Wow.
No
All
damage
right.
to the
Nice
device.
job.
No damage to the device was
Man.
fully
Wow.
protected. We got some new Hydra hardware.
I think we need a harder difficulty.
Yeah, that's
This
what I was
seems
gonna
Yeah,
say.
Oh,
come
no.
on, Joe.
No.
I think Joe has already exceeded the current difficulty levels.
Oh, boy.
3 stars
by,
too.
Because
Ooh,
Joe,
all right.
Yeah.
I think
not
let us
only-
not forget how completely I got owned with Deadpool and Venom in the first two
Right.
live streams here.
but
So
Joe, I think you need your own achievement, which is playing Ultimate 3 while commentating and answering my questions
that is
live.
a special
for viewers,
challenge.
yeah.
That is a special challenge. Hey, I will take a 50% success rate.
Yeah.
That was more than I hoped to exceed to achieve there. So that was that felt pretty good. That was a good one. I mean, Hulk is a little bit cheat mode because he is very definitely a little bit overpowered. Storm too. I mean, yeah, they're all strong. They're all strong heroes. I definitely went in very prepared for that mission, but
Yeah,
glad to see a win. So
absolutely.
We're now going to
Yeah.
W Ultimate Joe.
Ultimate Joe.
Oh,
There we
man.
go. New
Ultimate
achievement.
next
Joe.
difficulty,
Unofficial.
Ultimate Joe.
So,
I think,
go ahead.
Yeah, so I think the last thing that we want to kind of talk about and show off a little bit of a teaser for today is with our season pass now wrapping up with Storm tomorrow, we have a special secret bonus mission that is available if you play through all of the story arcs for each of the DLC heroes. So if you've been keeping up as we've been going, you finish Storm's storyline, and that bonus mission should pop onto the mirror table for you, and you'll be ready to go. But yeah, so if you play through Deadpool, Venom, Morbius, and Storm, see all their story arcs, they all kind of tie together and fit into the same overall story with Sin and Dracula and what their evil machinations are for the vampires in our universe. Then you get to go on a secret bonus mission with all of the DLC heroes, led by Blade, our resident Midnight Sun vampire hunter. Sorry, vampire hunter.
Yep.
So so we're gonna show off a quick teaser intro for that mission. So let's take a look.
Yep.
Storm, what's the forecast?
Clear skies ahead.
Very cool.
So cool.
So
Yeah.
this
Amazing
culminates
Storm
our,
moment.
our season 1 of Marvel's Midnight Suns for DLC.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So you get to go to Dracula's castle, face down Lord of Vampires on his home turf.
gonna be
All of
rough.
our art teams did such an amazing job of bringing the castle and the entire mood and atmosphere to life. It's a super fun mission. Really excited for you all to be able to play it. So tomorrow.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And not only that, but the game also launches on Xbox One.
Xbox One.
Yep. And I always get them mixed up. And PS4 tomorrow as well. And that is both the base game and also the DLC Season 1.
Absolutely. And the game is also currently live on PC and Steam Deck, both Steam and the Epic Game Store on PC, and PlayStation 5 and Xbox Series S and X.
Yep.
So all the platforms now available with PS4 and Xbox One joining tomorrow, which we're super excited about.
Absolutely. So thank you all of you for joining us and sharing a little bit more about both the game that's going live and also the DLC season. And thank all of you for watching and following this journey with us. We are very excited to see it in everyone's hands tomorrow.
Can't wait to see what you think of Storm.
Yep.
Everyone, it's been great.
All right. Great. Thanks, everyone, and we will see you soon.
Bye, everybody.
See you.
What is this?
Yeah, where's that?
This world has no hope under your watch. Surrender your pain to me, and I will make you whole once more. There, my sweet child. Mother won't hurt you.
Typical Parker luck. I'm gonna need some backup.
warned you the Darkhold was not truly lost, that the prophecy of the Midnight Sun is still a threat. I cannot do what you ask, but there is a contingency. To know it, you must know how it came to pass. It all started with that fanatic, Hiram Shaw. Your predecessor thought witches were competition and sought to root them out. Shaw was formidable, more than he should have been. We'd battled him for years, to a stalemate. Amidst the conflict, life went on. For Lilith more than I. Love led her to do what all the blood forswear. Bear a child of human origin. But a sickness took hold in Salem. First, it struck her husband. Then, her child. Desperation led my sister to approach Shaw and beg him to save her child. What she discovered changed everything. Shaw possessed a dark and ancient book, said to be written by the elder god Cathar. The Darkhold. We knew it well, for the blood had spent centuries containing the aftermath of its vile magic. It could not remain in his hands. My sister and I gave everything we had to force him back. And as I sealed him away forever, Lilith chose to betray everything for which we stood. She knew the danger of reading or even touching the Darkhold. But she sought to perform a ritual drawn from its wicked pages.
Esto batre kashof. 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 No!
What have you done? What have you done? Why?
I will do anything to protect my child.
I knew what must be done. But in a moment of weakness, I damned the entire world. Leave! I will care for the child, but you can never return! Soon after, her child recovered. I did as I promised. Lilith did not.
As you command.
Our contingency is the page torn from the Darkhold. You know it as the Parchment of Power. It resides in the hands of Jonathan Blaze, one of the few people it cannot twist and tempt. If the prophecy does yet come to pass, can I count on your support to retrieve it?
Sarah, when have I ever let you down?
We can't rely on Dr. Strange alone. We'll need to form a team with the best. The toughest. The fastest. The deadliest. And someone who can bring them all together.
Previously on Midnight Suns.
What have you done? Why?
I would do anything to protect my child. As you command.
We can't rely on Dr. Strange alone. We'll need to form a team. Wanda, relax.
Sorry. I don't know if I'm ready.
When the great Agatha Harkness tells me her apprentice is ready, I believe her. So should you. Now, our first candidate is Ilyana Rasputina, or as she's known by the X-Men, Magic. As a young Russian child, she vanished from her family's farm. She resurfaced as a young adult, and ruler of Limbo.
What do we know about her?
Due to her mutant abilities and her age, Ilyana was admitted to Xavier's school.
Is she still with the X-Men?
Not since her graduation.
Why did she leave?
She prefers to work alone.
She sounds promising, but it's not the 18th century. Why recruit someone who's good with a sword?
She's the queen of Limbo. In her hands, it's far more than a sword.
approach her?
That is entirely up to you.
Why do you run from me? I offered you a throne. My only price was obedience. Without me, you are truly alone.
Yet.
Why resist? There are too many.
You cannot contain me! Hi, I'm Wanda. I like your catchphrase. Now, let's see what we're actually dealing with. Looks like you have this covered. I'll make sure none get behind you.
Logan,
Sarah, what are you doing here?
the same as you,
Watching over a youngin'?
and doing my best not to step in.
Ain't easy. But they gotta learn to fend for themselves.
Why are you here? I was looking for you and found all this. I hope I didn't step on your toes.
No. You knew not to fight my battle for me. So what do you want from me?
I don't want anything, but I wouldn't mind someone I could trust to fight beside me. I can explain why, but we should get off the streets. There's a place I'm staying that's safe.
Nowhere is safe. Not from them.
The Abbey is outside of reality as we know it. Whoever those creatures serve won't be able to find you.
You should know. I don't do teams.
Neither do I. That's why you're perfect for my new team.
Looks like someone made a friend. Give my best to Agatha, would you?
Previously on Midnight Suns.
As you command.
We can't rely on Dr. Strange alone. We'll need to form a team. Our first candidate is Ilyana Rasputina, or as she's known by the X-Men, Magic.
How should I approach her?
That is entirely up to you.
Hi, I'm Wanda.
You should know. I don't do teams.
Neither do I. That's why you're perfect for my new team.
Hey, Gabe. It's your big bro. So, I'm gonna have to work late tonight. I was delayed on my way in.
Hey, I heard about a car like yours in this, neighborhood.
Yeah?
Looked very similar, but the one I'm talking about, the whole thing was on fire.
Uh-huh.
Thing is, it ran some friends of mine off the road. Oh yeah, put them in the hospital.
Sorry, man. Haven't seen any burning cars.
Why don't we change that?
Gabe. I got into a fight. I know. We should never go looking for them. But sometimes, little brother, the fight comes to you.
Go, go!
I'm the worst role model. Dinner's in the fridge. Don't forget to charge your chair. And if you do your homework before I get there, I might be willing to share a bowl of double chocolate fudge. Love you, Gabe.
Save your strength, Robbie. You'll need it for the fight ahead.
I told you, I wasn't interested.
And I told you I'd be back with a friend.
Whoa. Is she one of the X-Men?
Yes, she is. I want you to know just how serious my offer is.
No, my brother needs me.
Don't you want your brother to learn who you really are? To see you, both parts of you? To know you fought for what truly matters.
I'm no hero.
I'm not looking for a hero. I need a midnight sun.
previously on Midnight Suns.
As you command. We can't rely on Dr. Strange alone. We'll need to form a team. Our first candidate is Ileana Rasputina, or as she's known by the X-Men, Magic.
I told you, I wasn't interested.
I want you to know just how serious my offer is.
I'm no hero.
I'm not looking for a hero. I need a Midnight Sun.
Your blood down here. Your human half betrays you. It's only a matter of time.
Eric.
Sarah,
Is this how you treat an old friend?
you prefer I follow through?
Fair point.
She's quiet.
That's an understatement. I'd like you to meet Magic, Ileana Rasputina, from the X-Men. And this is Blade, also known as...
Just Blade. So why are you here?
I'm putting a team together. I know that isn't your thing, but...
I'm in.
Just like that?
Just like that. So, what are we hunting? Midnight Suns.
As you command. We can't rely on Dr. Strange alone. We'll need to form a team. Our first candidate is Ileana Rasputina, or as she's known by the X-Men, Magic.
I'm no hero.
I'm not looking for a hero. I need a Midnight Sun. Eric.
Sarah,
I'm putting a team together.
I'm in.
Just like that?
Just like that. So, what are we hunting?
Hey, Molly. Sounds like you're enjoying Xavier's school. Glad you finally got to meet one of your heroes. As for how I'm doing, that's complicated. Magic barely comes out of her room. The only person I've seen her speak with is Wanda. She's slow to trust. Blade keeps to himself. It's different from Magic. He doesn't want to get close to any of us. Robbie, he's really homesick.
Gabe! How's it going, little bro?
Caretaker said he talks to his little brother every day. I'm the youngest one here. The others, their abilities are just so cool and freaky, and I'm just some rando with a magic stick. Then, Molly Hayes, that's when I thought of you. You were the youngest of the Runaways, but you always found a way to bring us together. Wanda said you like weird candy. And when you set your mind to something, you never gave up. But more than that, you were our heart and soul.
Better.
Hey there. You wouldn't mind if I organized like a Midnight Suns movie night, right?
For real?
So, yeah. I don't know how I can contribute to this team. Not yet, but you know what? None of that matters. I don't need to be the best. What I can be for them is what you always were for us. The glue that keeps this team together. And that's more than enough for me. So, now that I made you blush, I gotta get to sleep. Blade likes to train early. So, love you, Malls.